Alright. How'd we go? Now, everybody but you is... We're staying out until everybody but you levels. So... You casting is more convenient. Because it defaults to her spell list. Or, her spell list defaults to the one I wanted to use. Now that we've actually figured out what was going on there. Because all of these have been recordings rather than... Well, because there's been so many recordings in a row, I'm actually a handful of days ahead. Because none of these outings have necessarily been stream length. So... Not quite a week ahead. I would have to double check the number of the one that uploaded earlier today. But yeah. Of course, being able to get ahead also means when I do get to the point where I'd want to be streaming, either I wait a week or however long until I do that, or it ends up kind of asynchronous. Not that I can't stream it, and then just leave it unlisted until its number actually comes up in the order of events. But I'm not to that point yet, so I don't know how I'm going to deal with it yet, because God damn it, haven't had to make that decision yet. But I have been thinking about how I would go about that, specifically because I'm ahead. And it does occur to me that because I'm recording this so many days in advance of when it would actually go up, that the answer to that question might have already appeared by the time this one gets uploaded. But the me now that's recording it, no fucking clue. did just have an idea for a different science experiment. Because I don't know the side effects of aging, I expect lower physical stats, namely vitality, because vitality is the one that resurrection can drop by a point, or at least it used to. And if it reaches 3 or 1 or 0, guess depending on the version of the game and which one in the series, I'm not entirely sure, I never had it happen, you die. So my guess would be that if nothing else, as they age, their vitality drops. But that's something that's really easy to science. I start a character, give them all the vitality. That's not the right key. And enough to swap between a few different classes. Maybe even take a level of each instead of just, oh, I just made you. Let's swap classes. Let's swap classes. Let's swap classes. And then see what happens when they hit 50 or later and continue to be aged in chunks of years. That would be the quickest and easiest way to do it, is just make someone and then just stand there and change class over and over and over again and see what observable changes there are as those years get added on. And it probably won't paint a full picture, but it should at least provide some answers. It lets us make our own little icons. They have different class-based backgrounds, which I don't think it would give me to insert behind anything. Hundreds? Thousands of manga on my computer? So it's not like I couldn't find some cuties to actually put in those. And then I guess just fill the background with a color that coordinates well enough. their role may be based on what their class-based backgrounds are. I wonder if that's a resource they've got on their website. Specifically because they let us add our own. I wonder if those backgrounds are available to add to them. Haven't looked. I know there are enough different cats without even having to try that hard. That I could have different cats from different manga as character icons. I could also do... I could probably do that with werewolves and vampires as well. Not that I'd want to, but I could. Just trying to think of subsets of characters. Because having that many of them... Well, if I rule out all these are teenagers in high school ones, that thins it a bunch. They can all do magic, and the settings where that's a thing would also limit the pool significantly. Not that that's how I have them sorted. I have them alphabetical by mangaka. So, start with a mangaka who does a lot of supernatural stuff, and then go from there, maybe? They would be stylistically similar if they were all by the same one. And that happens to be where I'm currently at in my rereading through them all, is at one of the ones that has a lot of supernatural elements. Not so much straight up magic. But it's more, you know, at the moment it's a thought exercise because I'm not looking for that now. And I'm not sure that I actually want to do that, just that I definitely could. Hell, with that many of them, I could probably have a party full of just different characters from different stories and by different authors, all named Haru. They could all be Yakuza very easily. They could all be Oji-sans remarkably easily. Not that I want to turn them all into really the dudes in most of those that are getting called old. Some of them are a decade younger than I am, so yeah. Turning them into middle-aged men is, even if their age lines up with those characters. I've made them all girls. Now, if I were going to be faithful to that, and have them be characters that weren't shitty entitled. Nightmares of characters. There would be slim pickings. Most of my manga is BL. Of things that I have enough pictures of, though. Different babies at different points of growth. And, well, actually different plants. I may have enough different plants. I definitely have enough different pictures at various stages of growth. Babies, for anyone that might not know, is what I call my habanero plants, because I grow habaneros when it's seasonally possible to do that. Make all their icons either different peppers or just different parts of various plants and have them all be babies. That would be... I mean, they're also halflings and these peppers are small, so... have them all be spicy little shits. Well, that's all but one of you, which we knew would happen. She's got a little bit of a gap that will keep getting bigger, but for now it's still a little bit of a gap. Just a few Murphys. That's a thought. The thought being, since she's going to lag farther and farther behind that samurai as they level, and I still have those two mages who will become thieves, that need to be trained up so that everybody's at the same point, so I can make better informed decisions. When the samurai gets there, go back to town and do that leveling, and then strip everybody but the Lord out, add those other two in, and have her go get her and those two a couple of Murphys at double rate, because it would be just the three of them until she's caught up. And then reassemble this unit. That way, they slowly, incrementally catch up a bit. She stays caught up-ish. At least until everybody's actually ready to have decisions made, and then the party shape will keep changing. The experience are going to go to use regardless. And none of them are currently in a position where overflow XP would be a concern. I would just go back as soon as they got there if it were. If nothing else, it would break up the flow a little bit. And now you're ready. Because doing, even with breaks, either to go back to town and level, or just generally, it is a rather monotonous task, so changing things up a little. Just for the sake of keeping my brain more engaged for it, might not be a terrible idea. But the counter argument is that that would be catching up likely backup characters rather than working on people who will definitely be party members. So, hey, good job. And you're finally getting that. fuck you too. Oh. You are behind on your stats. All of you did poorly on the stats. I'd have to double check where your spells are at. You could have gotten hit points. You could have gotten more than one fucking stat point. You're already behind, but that wasn't the critical level, so the next one is. That's a gap of 45. Soloing a whole Murphy. Morphe is 4450. Soloing a whole Murphy is about the size of that gap. Yep. You didn't even all. Rude. Rude. You could have done a better job there, ladies. Alright. But yeah, all of those gaps are big. I wonder. I mean, you both have more hit points now, and you have 12 and then 13 of mage, so 2 hit points there, and then add 8. So 10 more hit points is where you'll be compared to where she's at now. So you will both have more hit points when you get there than she has, which isn't surprising. That does suggest that, well, it would mean you would have more hit points until all of you start actually making enough levels in Thief to get hit points. But you would be ahead. But interesting. Why would an 11th level mage with the same stats have a 20% better reflex than a fucking thief? That doesn't make sense to me. I have no idea what's going on with that. That does not make sense to me. You are not the same level in a different class, so I can't point at that, but you have the same fucking stats, and you're currently in a reflex-based class, so... What? But, yeah. You two... That means they're gonna have to get 3 spells next level. The 2 that they'll need to get, and the one they're missing, because they fucked that up. Oh boy, do those XP gaps look big enough to stream. Other than having 10 more hit points, 12 and 14, but oh no, 11 and 13. There isn't going to be a meaningful difference. So, not sure about that. I could do that. Since the size of the difference is basically a Murphy, and she should be able to solo a Murphy, I could just do that. Just to manage the gap. Lots of different thoughts about things I could work on. Okay. No, that tells me how much it takes you to get to 12. So. I'm wondering if I want to level her up to 11. Not like right now, but like the next thing I do is get her up to 11, just so I can compare those numbers that don't make sense when they're at least at the same level. But no. Either way, I have some decisions to make. But I don't actually have to make them